Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ljs Garage, and behind me is a 2016 BMW 340i Xdrive, and I've said it once and I'm going to say it again. The 3 Series is the best daily driver. So they've been making the 3 Series for so long that BMW is finally on their 7th generation, which was recently revealed. Behind me is the 6th generation, also called the BMW F30. I want to point out something really quick. You'll notice that this is a 4-door. BMW used to make the 3 Series in a 2-door, in a convertible, in a wagon, but then in 2015 they finally decided, you know what, we're going to call this 2-door version of the 3 Series the 4 Series. And don't take my word for it, take the sales numbers. Every year BMW sells about 400,000 plus 3 Series in all different shapes and sizes and variations. So I'm going to show you guys around the outside, the inside, and then I'm going to take it for a spin. And we're going to talk a little bit about why this car is so awesome. I'm starting with the front because I want to point out that in 2016, BMW decided to do a little mid-cycle refresh, and they call that the LCI. So it got a new front end, which honestly, you won't really be able to pick apart the main differences. So I'm not going to bore you with all those tiny little minor details. Overall, it looks just as handsome as it always did. One of the things they did, they replaced these xenon headlights with LEDs, and they look pretty good, and they kind of changed the design slightly, but again, none of these things that'll really stick out to you and go, wow, BMW, you guys did a major refresh. So this is not an extreme makeover like a girl that's wearing makeup and not wearing makeup. It's nothing that dramatic. What it is like, let's say she's wearing makeup, but then she's got eyelashes and no mascara, something like that. So it's just like a minor, subtle difference. What BMW does is they have a couple different like package options that I guess you could call it. This is the luxury line, so it's got a different front bumper, different wheels, and it's more of like the chrome, as you can see on these front grills, and it's more for the luxury look. But then you have the M Sport package, which is more aggressive, more sporty, different bumper, different wheels. So they kind of have a little bit of a customization for different options out there. Around the car, you'll notice that there are these little dots and sensors and all different things. This one's actually a camera, which I'll show you what that looks like later on.
Take a look at the size of these calipers. They are big.
I want to stop for a moment because I forgot to explain to you guys that this car actually belongs in Ljs Garage. And the owner of this car is actually holding the camera right now. So my camera lady decided that she wanted to join the BMW family, and look at this beauty. So if you guys are big BMW fans, be sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned because we're going to do a couple different things to grow this car up a little bit and make it look extra lean and mean running around on these streets. Ignore the fishbowl non-tinted windows right now. We're going to move forward to these folding side mirrors, and then right under these mirrors, I'll show you guys really quick, there's another camera, and I wonder what that could be for. Now my favorite side of the car, the back end, the back side, you can see right here, we've got these cool LED taillights. That's also a little bit of an upgrade on the LCI when they did the facelift, but nothing major once again. Something else to point out, you see this badge right here? It says Xdrive, that is all-wheel drive. BMW calls their system Xdrive. If you guys are wondering why I was abusing this car, that's because on some BMWs, there's a feature called, what's it called? It's called the hands-free trunk release, and so it allows you to just kind of put your foot right there and give it a little love tap, and then the trunk pops open. So if you have a lot of things in your hands, you don't have to put them down, open the trunk, pick them back up, put it all in, and do that. So it's a kind of an awesome little feature that for some reason I guess this doesn't have, or it might be broken. We'll have to figure that out later. Let me go ahead and pop this here.
As you guys can see, we've got plenty of room back here in this trunk.
BMW is awesome because they do give you guys cargo nets, so you can straddle them across here. And I don't know about you guys, but cargo nets are kind of cool, so you can see down in here. And then I want to show you guys another secret compartment. So you just look under here, and there's no spare tire, but there's a little deep well that you can kind of place your other secret items you don't want the cops to find. Something else that's cool back here, these aren't power options, but all you do is you just pull this little lever down here, and what it'll do is it'll release the seats, and then you can reach in, and you can just pop them down, and you got your folding seats. A couple more things I want to point out while I'm here. BMW has a package called the Comfort Access and Convenience Package, a couple other things which I'll talk about in a later video. But right now I want to show a couple things. One is to unlock the door, you just push your hand right here, and then to lock the door, you just tap right here. Lock, unlock, super simple, love it, best thing in the world. Another thing, you got your key fob right here, looking like so. And what you do is, let's say it's a super hot day, you can hit the unlock, or excuse me, you hold the unlock button, and you can see your windows start to come down. And if you hold it long enough, your sunroof will actually open up as well. So that's doing its thing. But let's say that you're like, oh no, now I have to go back in the car to start it to get the windows back up. Well, you don't actually have to. All you do is you hold your finger right here, the car will lock, and the windows and doors, everything will start to close up. And it's a super, super cool and handy feature. And you can just let go whenever you want and stop everything in the setting that is perfect for you. So here I am in the back seat where all the magic happens. And as you guys can see, this seat is set for about someone that's 5'10", 5'11", somewhere in that ballpark. Even 6 foot tall could probably fit up there. And I'm 5'9", and if I really, really wanted to, I could get this person to scoot back a couple more inches and I'd be plenty comfortable. You start to lose a little bit of headroom, but overall, it's a very comfortable back seat. And come on this way. Look down here, you've got climate control vents. And if you guys haven't seen this before, what this allows you to do is you can fine tune your temperature adjustments. So you want it more hot, you go towards the red. You want it more cold, you go towards the blue. And you've even got a little outlet back here, or a cigarette lighter, excuse me. And then heated rear seats. Look at that, such a win. But that's not all. All you do is you pull this down, hit this little ejecto-cedo button right there, and you got 2 more cup holders. And then also a cool thing, if you push this little also ejecto-cedo button right here, it puts this seat down, and now you can actually get access to your rear cargo compartment. So if you have anyone back there and you need to pass some drinks, you're able to do so. If you guys don't know what BMW stands for, it stands for Brings Me Women. Under the hood is a glorious 3-liter inline 6 that makes 320 horsepower, 332 foot-pounds of torque, does 0 to 60 in about 4.5 to 4.9 seconds. I'm going to stop here for just a moment because this motor is called the B58, which was introduced in 2015. You guys might have heard that before because it's the same motor that's in the BMW Z4, the new 340i, and the Toyota Supra. So that's right, this is actually capable of making like 380 something horsepower. So it's a little undertuned. So thank you BMW for kind of ripping us off on that one, but we'll tune it anyways. So this is capable of doing 33 miles per gallon on the highway, 22 in the city. You do get the option of an 8-speed automatic or the glorious 6-speed manual. The first place I want to start on the interior are these seats. They're very customizable and adjustable, so take a look down here. You've got memory options, which is great if you have a spouse or partner or a life partner or whatever. This is to slide forward, backwards. You even have adjustable bolsters. So these little guys right here, they're not sports seats, but they can squeeze you pretty nice and tight like sports seats. I kind of like it so that you have the adjustable in case you have a big meal and you're coming into the car and you're a little bit wider than you were before the meal. You can adjust them. And it does have lumbar support for those of us that are on the aging side of the spectrum and we're starting to have lower back pains. One of the packages on this that I want to point out is the driver assistance package, and then there's also the driver assistance plus package. But for now, this is the lane departure, you got the forward collision avoidance, and then you've got the blind spot monitoring. So awesome features, great to have. This also has the premium sound package, so that means Harman Kardon, and it sounds oh so great. Overall, the interior is great in here. I know a lot of people say it doesn't feel like a Mercedes or it's not as tech advanced as like an Audi, but I think this is the perfect balance of luxury, sportiness, comfort, all of the good things that you could look for when you're buying a 3 Series. So now you guys can see what it looks like from the back seat. Looking at from the driver's seat now though, you've got your paddle shifters, which is awesome. These are super responsive and quick. Up here, you've got a garage door opener and auto dimming mirrors and all that good stuff. You've got automatic rain sensing wiper blades, dual climate control, heated seats, and then really the rest of it's just standard BMW affair. Everything's nice, everything feels good. There's really no complaints that I personally have, and I actually really enjoy being inside of these. What I love is that if you've ever played around with any of the iDrive systems, it's all pretty much the same. BMW does little upgrades here and there. You'll notice that through the years, this screen has gotten larger and it actually added a touchscreen in the later years. But I want to point out some cool things. One of them is that a lot of people complain that BMWs are hard to maintain, this, that, and the other. But if you actually go right in here, you can go into your vehicle information, and here it'll actually tell you your vehicle status. You have an option right here called check control, and you click on that and basically it'll just do a system check and tell you if your car has any problems. So this car talks to you. It tells you what you need to know. So I'm going to talk about, so I want to show you guys really quick. I'm going to place this in reverse, easy as such. And as you can see up here, it looks pretty standard, right? You've got a parking or a backup camera, parking sensors, so it tells you how close you are to things. But then bring your eyes back down here. And all you do is you hit this little camera button right there, and bam, now look back up here, and you'll see that these cameras are actually your side mirrors. But that's not the coolest part. The coolest part is if you hit this, when you're on your backup camera, it'll switch your view, and now you've got a 360-degree camera. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just reverse, and you guys can kind of see it's like playing a video game. So you can make sure that you park this car perfect every single time. There's no more excuses for a little bumper, fender bumper contact hitting people. But it's just such a cool feature. And you know, if you drive around, you can kind of see where you got your guidelines and everything. So man, I just love playing around with this, because there's no reason you should ever park like a silly Mercedes driver or Ford Focus driver or anything like that. Why isn't it not pausing? Something else to point out is you've got all these numbers here, and you can actually store different things as like shortcuts. But what's even cooler is when you slide your finger over them, at the top it'll tell you if your shortcuts are assigned, and that's super awesome. I've had a lot of fun in every one of the 3 Series I've been in. I'm kind of a BMW loyalist, I'm not gonna lie to you. What I love about this is how smooth this inline 6 is, and the turbo just kicks in just right. There's not a whole lot of lag, and it's such an easy car to drive and handle. And I know a lot of people complain about the electronic power steering, which in a simple explanation, you've got a sensor in between your steering wheel and your actual wheels, and it communicates what position your steering wheel is in, and then it sends an assistance with the motor, and it does all that fancy stuff to basically give you that power steering feel. But what that does is it takes away from that feedback, takes away from some of the feedback, so you don't really feel connected to the road, according to some people. I think when you put this in sport mode and the steering tightens, that it actually feels really good. And I enjoy driving the 3 Series. I enjoy driving the F30 specifically, both the 328 and the 340, and I've never really been unhappy in any of these BMWs. When it comes to power in this thing, 330 horsepower feels good. It's plenty for a daily, and to be able to get 33 miles per gallon on the highway, with the tank size in this, you can easily get about 450 miles per gallon, premium gas, 91, 93, and that feels pretty good. Even though you're spending about 40 bucks, you're getting 450 to even 500 gallons, or 500 miles, excuse me. That's a lot of gallons, but 500 miles on one full tank. So it pays for itself, I feel like, if you're gonna have to dump premium gas into a BMW. These paddle shifters, even though it's not a 6-speed manual, they make driving a blast. They feel pretty good, and they shift quick, not dual clutch quick like the M3s, but pretty darn fast if you ask me. That brings me to another point in that's one of my favorite things about BMW. Even though they're tuning things down, they're not taking anything away. This is still a fun handling car. It's nice and peppy. I mean, you won't have any problems blowing the doors off of an Audi A4. The suspension on this thing, comfortable. You put it in comfort mode, everything's nice, soft, and squishy. But you put it in sport and you can feel every bump, and you really get into it. The steering tightens up and you feel like a man. The last point I want to leave you guys with is this is a great platform for a soccer mom. This is a great platform for a young professional. This is a great platform for somebody that wants to tune BMWs. The single turbo provides you with a lot of options for tuning. You can do anything that you want because there's such a big aftermarket for the F30. So the possibilities are endless. So if there's something that you don't like about this, don't worry, you can change it. Thank you guys so much for checking out yet another video in LJ's Garage. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button and stay tuned for more videos in LJ's Garage. If you guys are creative with names out there, be sure to leave a little comment down below as to what we should call this white stallion that's sitting in the garage.